Okay guys, welcome. So the build I am using in this, the start of that video, is a Lost Sector 1830. I'm 2 levels below, so it is a little bit easier than normal, but it does work on 1840. I've done it in Grandmasters, I've done it in normal content, raids, everything, and everyone says the same thing. I didn't know Verities was that good. So obviously, as you can see, we are using Verities, but we're going to begin by going into our subclass. We are using Well of Radiance. Just for that extra health when you're doing Grandmasters. If you are doing like easier content, I suppose you could switch to Daybreak. Personally, I just like sitting on Well of Radiance, just because obviously you do get that Radiant as well if you're doing Grandmasters and whatever. Phoenix Dive for our class ability, just because you're able to proc Restoration ×2 because of heat rises and everything like that. You will see soon. Burst Glide, obviously, your glides are completely up to you. I prefer Burst Glide just so I can move a lot quicker. I prefer using Incinerator Snap compared to Celestial. I know a lot of people like using Celestial. I just prefer Incinerator. It just depends on how you play. You also do get the cooldown a lot quicker, so you can proc this a lot more, which makes them more radiant, which then scorches them so you can do more damage, which is literally perfect. Fusion Grenade ties into our exotic, which when you have Death Thrones, it grants extra grenade ability and also extra damage. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure of the number, but it is pretty substantial. It goes from like 20k to 200k damage ×2 because of our fragments. We've gone with Touch of Flame. I've gone for these two because Icarus Dash is just a movement. You don't really need it. I suppose you can if you want to, but it just sort of messes up the whole build from that. So for the fragments, we've gone with Ember of Torches, which powered melee's attack against combatants, make you and nearby allies radiant. So this is why we choose Incinerator Snap, so the base cooldown will be lower, so you can constantly be radiant. Ember of Searing is our second fragment, which basically spawns a fire sprite, which then the fire sprite can then also give us grenade ability. So it's all about getting grenade energy. The next one is Ember of Solace, which is just more of a, this is sort of an interchangeable one. If you don't really care about the radiant and restoration duration, then you don't have to worry. You can switch it with something a little bit better, like Ember of Resolve. So then when you do use your grenade abilities, you get Cure. So it's a little bit more survivability. It just depends what you want. Our last fragment we're going to go for is Ember of Empyrean, which solo weapons or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. Now this ties in awesome with these fragments and also Verity's Brow, as you have seen in the clip where I proc Restoration ×2 and absolutely destroy everything, and I pretty much have it the whole time through the Lost Sector. For our weapons, we're going to go with Scatter Signal. I sort of struggle to find a legendary that beats Scatter Signal at the moment. You have the DPS from Scatter Signal, and it's just sort of like one of those fun weapons. That is the role I've gone for. It's the most common role, so if you want to change yours because you don't really know what the god role is, this is the most commonly used type. So for our second weapon, as of course, I've gone for Polaris Lance. Now I normally use Polaris Lance for Grandmasters, for example, just because obviously the precision and the scorch and everything like that, and just the radiant, you're able to keep proccing and just keep doing loads of damage. Now in easier content, I do use Sunshot. Sunshot is absolutely class for easier content, just because it's got like, you don't have to really aim in as much. It's just a lot better and it's a lot easier to use. But for Grandmasters, I would recommend using Polaris Lance. Now the last power slot, we're going to use Apex Predator with Restoration, Reconstruction and Bait and Switch. Basically just for that quick DPS. So if you can kill it quick enough, put that on, bam, bam, bam. You're able to shoot about 2 shots, and then you wait about 4 seconds, you get another shot. So it's really good DPS, and it's also good for killing champions, which I quite like. Now let's go over to our mods. For our helmet, we are running Ashes to Assets and Solar Siphon. So our solar weapon then creates orb of power, and then you gain super energy on grenade kills, so we're constantly getting that super back. For the arms, we're using focus and strike, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a powered melee attack. This is sort of one of them where I wouldn't recommend having it there. I'm not sure why I actually do have it there. I would prefer using grenade kickstart. You will literally see how much better grenade kickstart is rather than bolster detonation. For our next one is impact induction, causing damage with the powered melee attack, reduces your grenade cooldown, which you're going to cause damage by the powered melee to get radiant and also apply the scorch. Fastball, just so you're able to throw a little bit further. For our chest, it's sort of up to you. I prefer using concussive, solar, and harmonic, which is, I suppose, is a double solar, but that's completely up to you. Legs, I've gone for stacks on stacks, innovation, and recuperation. So again, health every time we pick up an orb. We're getting grenade ability every time we pick up an orb, and we get an extra stack when we pick up an orb. Now for the bond, we are using outreach, bomber, and reaper. Outreach, so we're able to get melee cooldown when we use our class ability. So whenever we apply restoration from holding in our grenade, we then do our phoenix dive, and then we get melee cooldown. Then once we use our melee, we then get our grenade back. And then whilst you use that, you also get your grenade cooldown again. So it's another place where you're getting grenade cooldown. So it's all about getting grenade cooldown. Then for our next one, we use Reaper. Shortly after using your class ability, your next weapon, Final Blow, spawns an orb of power. So it all just ties in together, really, about collecting as many orbs as you can, making as many orbs as you can, say to use your grenade kickstart, all your different abilities, basically. So that is that. For the artifact, this is what I've personally gone for. You can sort of interchange it around. I would recommend the couple. I would recommend these. It don't really matter. You can choose whatever you want. I would recommend taking Kindling Trigger, Flint Striker, Torch, Heart of Flame. I'm gonna mess this up. Retivation Blast, and definitely Overload rocket launchers. And then this final row, there's nothing that really buffs our abilities and the grenade cooldown. So we are going to take Razor Precision just to help our Polaris Lance and Solar Operative, just so when you're alone you're able to do a lot better than normal. And to be fair, that is the build. So I hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.